What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy. Hit the keys. Here today to do a quick review and demonstration over Fluid Chords by Pitch Innovations. Fluid Chords is a pitch bending plugin that allows you to pitch bend chords like you were using an MPE controller without the controller. Make sure if you guys like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But let's go ahead and get right into this review. Hit the key. All right, guys. So when you open up the plugin, it's going to look like this. It's got a very clean looking GUI in my personal opinion. I do want to make sure I say this right up front that you can only use this with plugins that do support MPE like Pigments or Omnisphere or something like that. If you don't have any of those paid plugins, don't worry. It does work with Vital and Vital is free. So as you're looking here at the plugin, you have a few different controls. So right here, you have an internal synth. One thing that I do wish is I wish that they had more sounds with their internal synth, but I think the goal is more so to use it with what you already have. And I'll show you guys how to load up your synths here in a moment. I already have mine loaded up. And then over here, you have different chords. So they have some factory chord progressions that you can go through from pop to lo-fi to cinematic to hip hop, so on and so forth. And then over here, you have a Learn Center. So the Learn Center is how you can basically program your own chord progressions in on the chords and get them to fill in these boxes right here. You can clear off an individual chord or you can clear them all. You have fixed, fluid, in real time. I'm going to go through these a little more in depth as we go through the tutorial. You have no last, and then you also have no return. You have a settings button right here where you can do transposing, you can distribute notes, you can mess with your bend range and all that other stuff. What's also cool about this plugin is that every time you hover over something, it tells you exactly what it does. I love when plugins do that. And this plugin is also vectoral, so you can boom, make it as big as you want, make it as small as you want. So we'll just go ahead and leave it this size for the demonstration. I kind of made a sample beat for the demonstration. Really, I only pitch bend some chords and I put together a drum pattern with just a little top melody over the top. So this is nothing too fancy, but you'll definitely be able to hear the pitch bending of the chords in this beat. So let's go. All right, so basically, obviously, you can hear the chords bending as the melody was playing. So that's a pretty cool feature. Let's go ahead and open the plugin back up and get right into it. So as you're looking here at the plugin, I'm basically just going to use the plugin for the demonstration. But if you were to use your keys or whatever it is, C1 is going to be obviously this first chord, and all your chords are going to play from C1, D1, E1, so on and so forth. Now, let me say this up front. C1 isn't necessarily going to be a C major, C minor, or something like that. C1 is going to be the first note that you can play, and you can program whatever chord it is that you wanted to. So you could program an F major, an F minor, whatever it is, it's C1. You don't have to necessarily go in order of this either for your chord progression. And then this pitch wheel does work as well. So what's pretty cool is if I push a note, all right, so that's the noise that I use for the chord progression. So now when I hold down that same chord, and then I push the pitch bend wheel, watch what happens. So now what it's basically doing is it's pitch bending up to the next chord. So you'll see here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mute the sound for just 1 second, just so that I can explain to you a little better without the sound going in the background. So now as I hit these chords, now watch as I hit this button, you see how it's got 3 green dots up here? So I can basically pitch bend to the 3 dots, and that's going to pitch bend to this chord right here. And so it tells you that this is a C sharp minor 9. Or if I wanted to push the button, I could pitch bend down to this chord over here. So when it's on fixed mode right here, you can only pitch up or pitch down to the chord in front of it or the chord behind it, if that makes sense. So if I'm on yellow, I could only pitch bend up to F1 or pitch bend down to D1. But if I have it on fluid, what I can do on fluid is if I push down this chord real quick, I could hit whichever note that I want it to go to, and then I could pitch bend up to that one, if that makes sense. So I'll show you guys a little bit more. So as I pull the sound back up on this real quick, we're just going to go through a quick little chord progression real quick. So let's go ahead and pull fluid chords back up. All right, so now as we go through the chord progression, so that's super cool, man, super cool. And then over here, like I was stating earlier with fluid, the cool thing with fluid is that with fluid, if I hold this down, so you can see it's basically pitch shifting to whichever chord I want it to pitch shift to. Super dope, super dope. And then over here, this real time right here is if you have a sustain pedal. I don't currently have a sustain pedal hooked up. So basically, if you hold down the sustain pedal, you can start pitch shifting through different chords just using that pedal, which is pretty nice. So then down here, you have last, which enables new notes to play in their original pitch without the pitch bend wheel moving position. And then this no return, which we have it on right now, means that if I hit this button or if I hit this chord and I move the pitch wheel, then when I let the pitch wheel go, it's still going to stay at the pitch bend up. But if I turn off no return, so let me show you. So if I hit this button down real quick, you'll notice that it stays pitched up. But if I let go of this no return button and I push it, so as soon as the pitch wheel moves, it goes back to its original state. So let's go ahead and check out some more stuff. So now I'm going to show you guys how to basically find your plugins when you first get this plugin so that you guys can have sounds. So we're going to open up a different instance of Fluid Chords. We're going to come right here to Internal Synth. And then what you would do is you're going to hit this open plugin scanner, and then boom, you're going to basically hit that and it's going to automatically scan for your plugins for you. As you can see, I've already done this, so I already have my plugins up. But it only takes a quick moment to find them because obviously there's only so many MPE plugins. So we're going to go ahead and close the scanner. We've got up what we need. And now once we have it, your synths, your sounds are going to come right here. So it'll give you a few basic ones that they recommend, I think, out of the plugins, or you can come over here, you can pick one. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to pick Omnisphere. We're going to pick those rich waves for just a moment. And now it'll automatically pop this up for you, tell you MPE in the corner. But like, let's say you close that down and now you don't know how to get it to open back up. All you have to do is boom, hit that button right there, the Windows button, and then it'll bring up the plugin for you. So now we have, a sound. So the sound basically sounds like this. All right, so that's what we currently have. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down just a little bit because I know it's gonna be mad loud. So next, I wanna show you guys how to basically program your own chords into the plugin. So you can do it one of two ways. You can either play the chords, so I can push this learn button and I can push down, whatever many notes you want to. And then boom, it's automatically gonna remember that chord for me, or I can type the chord in. So we're gonna go ahead and clear that real quick, or we can do it like this, hit the learn button and we can, boom. So now we have that chord, then we can go to the next one. Boom, so now we have that chord. Now we can go to the next one. Boom, now we have 3 different chords. So now you have to make sure you turn learn off, because if you don't turn learn off and you push another button, whatever button you push is going to take over the spot of that chord. But now we have chords. And so now those chords we can actually pitch bend like we were doing before. So now we could take that chord so that's pretty dope as well. Another thing that's cool about this as well that I didn't show you is you don't necessarily have to use this pitch wheel. You can just push down on the button. So you can just use your mouse and scroll up and down and you can get the chords. So now we also have over here in chords, we have a bunch of different chords. So you have cinematic presets, pop, lo-fi, whatever it is that you want. So boom, we can just pull up. Let's just go ahead and pull up something random. So now when you're looking at these chords, so, you know, again, that's fire, you know, we'll put it on no return. And they have a whole bunch of different chord progressions. You can also use your own factory presets and you can put your own presets in there. So a couple things that I do want to talk about with this plugin. So there's some positives and there's some negatives. So for FL Studio users, it's kind of a negative that I watched a bunch of other demonstrations on this plugin, and like with Ableton and Bitwig and some other programs, it automatically sends the notes to MIDI for you for your chord progression. But for FL Studio users, it won't do that. And so like it'll automatically draw the automation and do all that stuff in there for you from other programs. In order to get the pitch bend to work properly for FL Studio, we have to use Edison. So again, that's no problem. That's no fault to Fluid Chords. They've done their job. We just need to get that update FL so that we can be in line with, you know, Ableton and all these other plugins that can do a bunch of crazy stuff that we can't do yet. Again, that's no fault of Fluid Chords. Unfortunately, we just can't do that yet with FL Studio. But you know, it's all good because you can still use the plugin, and as you see, I made it work. So, all right, guys, so that's basically the plugin for you. In my personal opinion, I think that this plugin is absolutely insane because you can do more with it than just pitch bend chords. You can obviously pitch bend your chords and then you can reverse them. You can throw all kinds of crazy effects on stuff. You can just get sounds that typically you couldn't get before, because if you were trying to pitch bend your chords, all the notes wouldn't necessarily bend in the same time, if that makes sense. So this plugin is currently $49.99 for the intro offer on Plugin Boutique. I would recommend, if you're going to get it now before it goes up to, I think, $79.99. Make sure if you guys like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time I bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.